You are watching Recovery TV, brought to you by Phoenix Futures.
Hi everyone, hello. My name is WOOSH, RAZA. I'm the head of HR and L&D at Phoenix Futures, and you're watching Recovery TV. I am so excited to share with you guys what we have on store for you for this particular broadcast. And for those of you that are new, hello and welcome to Recovery TV. Recovery TV is such an exciting and innovative concept that we are really proud of here at Phoenix Futures. The comms team have been working super hard over the month of June for June's edition of Recovery TV to bring you ways in which we're coming together, connecting, sharing stories across our community at Phoenix Futures. So I'm really excited for you guys to watch this episode and to hopefully make people smile, bring a smile to people's face. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks, Woosh. First up, we have an insightful and inspirational story of recovery from Phoenix Futures graduate Thomas Delaney. Next, we have a first for Recovery TV, a fitness tutorial submitted to us from ARC Fitness. We have some live music from beloved Team Phoenix member Rowdy Yates. Then we have a fantastic interview with Maddie Hitchin, the founder of Sobriety Films. Then we return to Shipley Park with Mark and John for another Recovery Through Nature gardening tutorial. And finally, we have another first for Recovery TV with theatre company No Place Productions joining us to talk about their exciting new theatre workshops available to you.
First up, we have a brilliant story of recovery from Thomas Delaney, who talks to us about his experience of recovery after going through the programme. Take it away, Thomas.
Hello and welcome to Phoenix Futures TV. My name is Thomas Delaney and I'm a former resident from Phoenix Futures. I went into rehab on the 2nd of November 2018, which was precisely 19 months yesterday, and I've been clean ever since. So throughout most of my childhood, I kind of felt like I never belonged. Even in my own family, I always felt like I was the odd one out. I felt that I wasn't particularly loved in the correct way. The violence and all the abuse that my father did to me and my family sort of made me feel as though I wasn't good enough. It gave me a lot of later in life, it gave me a lot of issues, a lot of personal insecurities. It made me very angry and bitter. It's quite embarrassing to say that my childhood wasn't probably the best. I know my mum tried and stuff like that, but I think with my father, we just completely felt abandoned. So for me, I can remember when I got the telephone call from Phoenix Futures for my assessment stage, and a lady called Elizabeth called me, and I can remember really sat there really anxiously waiting for the call because I knew when it was, I knew what time it was, and I was sat there just dreading having to go through that process. But also at the same time, I felt quite a lot of relief that I'd got to the stage where I finally was in some sort of position where potentially may have been an opportunity for me to go into the rehab. And Elizabeth called me up and she was absolutely amazing, and she was so calming and collective in her approach and how she spoke to me. And for the first time in a long, long time, I finally felt that I had hope. And this is after a 12, 13-year addiction where I'd lost all hope. When I was made redundant, like I said, I lost loads of weight, and at my worst, I went down to about 6.5 stone. I looked like a broken man. I was suicidal, I was depressed, I was physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally in tatters. I had no hope. I literally was using drugs in the hope that it would kill me. If I'd not died from just my poor, ill physical and mental health. But thankfully, Phoenix Futures called, and I can remember the phone call like it was yesterday. And afterwards, I ran downstairs, even though I was basically like a cripple. I literally found the strength to run downstairs and ran into the kitchen where my mum was washing and cooking or whatever. And I just turned around and I was in tears. I was crying my eyes out. And I think my mum realised straight away that these weren't tears of pain or agony anymore. The reason why I was crying because I was so happy. for the first time in a long time, I had hope. And I can even see that my mum's eyes just lit up, and my mum burst into tears. I was already crying, and I started crying even more because my mum was crying. And we just sat there and cuddled. And that was such a beautiful moment. When I think about it now, I still get quite emotional. And I drove my family nuts. And that's the thing. When I was trapped in addiction, the only person I thought that I was hurting was myself. I never realized that I was hurting my mother. I never realized that I was affecting my brothers, the relationships that I was in at the time throughout my addiction. I literally destroyed everybody's, not just the peace of mind, but their lives. And that's a very selfish thing to do. And I don't think you realize how much of a detrimental impact your addiction has on other people. You don't at all. It wasn't until I got clean that I realized the full extent of the damage that I'd done. And that's not something I'm proud of. I absolutely hate that. But that's a huge factor in the reason why I do everything that I can to maintain my recovery. And that's why I'm constantly trying to strive for success, because I want my family to be happy, and I want them to have the best version that they deserve of me. And more importantly, I deserve to be happy. And for the first time in a long time, I actually feel happy. Even though I'm a lot fatter than I used to be, I am. I really am. And no matter what, no matter what's to come, my recovery has to come first, because if I keep my recovery in check, and I know that, like, the day I went into rehab, I made a conscious decision never to use drugs again. So for me, in that aspect, it was pretty easy, because I never went into rehab to get I never went in just for some respite, or I never went in to try and make new friends or anything like that. I went into rehab to sort out my issues, and I'm thankful that I made some some brilliant friends, but I wasn't messing around. I went into rehab to truly address my issues, and thankfully Phoenix Futures are absolutely amazing. They provided me all the care and support that you could ever want, and with their right help and guidance at times, sometimes I can be quite stubborn, but despite maybe a couple of differences, I knew in my head that I tell myself every day I'm not going to use drugs, and it's as simple as that. I set myself goals and I work my ass off to achieve them. But thankfully, I managed to get into rehab, and I went into rehab on the 2nd of November, 2018. So which is literally like 19 months ago yesterday. And I don't count my clean time from the 2nd, because when I went to rehab, unfortunately, I was in such a state. So I travelled from Barnsley via the train on my own. And I think it was really the first time in about 5 months that I'd left the house. Now, I was still physically ill, extremely ill, but I managed to catch, I think it was like 5 or 6 different trains because there was some complications. And I travelled all the way up to Annisland, where I met an amazing woman who picked me up, called Yvonne, and I thought she was crazy. She is, but she's just an amazing woman. And she picked me up. She made me feel really welcome. I gave her a hug. I got in the car, and on that little short journey into the actual residential itself, I was absolutely terrified. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea who I'd meet or the people that would be there. I had no idea about anything really. The only thing I knew that deep down inside was the fact that was it. I had done with drugs, and this was the start of my whole new life. So I actually count my clean time from the 3rd. So yesterday I was 19 months clean. I don't take alcohol, I don't drink, I don't do anything like that. And you know what? Sometimes it's easy, and then sometimes it's not. It's not taking drugs that's the difficulty. It's life. That's the problem. Learning how to adapt and how to not react in the ways that I used to. Because, for instance, if I had a great day at work, I'd go and celebrate by buying an ounce of ketamine on top of the daily half ounce or quarter ounce, whatever I was sniffing at that point. And then if I had a terrible day at work, I needed ketamine. And you always sort of justify it to yourself when you're an addict. But that stopped. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes there's some days and I don't even want to leave the house. I don't want to go outside. But you know what? The only way you truly grow is by pushing yourself. By constantly striving to be better than you were yesterday. For me, that's what my recovery is based upon. I set myself goals, and I aim for them and I don't stop until I've achieved them. And then once I've done that, I set myself some new goals and I crack on with the next target or the next goal I want to achieve. But for me, personally, my recovery has given me everything. It really has. So before I went into rehab, I still had family, I still had friends. But to be honest, I was useless. It didn't matter to me because I couldn't stop. And I think when you're that bad, when you're caught up in all the chaos that addiction is only too happy to serve, then you become an incredibly selfish human being. And that's not necessarily easy to admit, or is it easy to see when you're like that? But thankfully I managed to go into rehab and make a huge change. And thanks to the service that Phoenix Futures and the other organisations that I've worked with and that have been involved in throughout my process and through my transformation, as you like, into recovery, that my family has me back. My mum has a son. My brothers have their bigger brother back. And my sister as well. And then my little nephew and my newly born niece as well. They don't have to worry about their uncle turning up fucked all the time or not turning up at all, as probably the case was probably more so. And that alone for me is more than enough. Is more than enough it gives me more than enough determination to maintain my recovery. And regardless of how long I've got here on this beautiful planet and with all the beautiful people that I love and care about, I'm going to make sure that every single day that I'm here, my family aren't going to be put through the pain and trauma that I put them through previously. And like I said, some days are tough, don't get me wrong. They are. But I deal with it. And that's probably, in terms of my recovery, when I got clean and the journey that I've been on so far, for me, my recovery is by far the most loving, unselfish, and empowering thing that I've ever done. And it probably will be the best thing, and all of those things. Because without my recovery, I'm no good to nobody.
Thank you so much for that inspiring story, Thomas. And it's moments like this that we really recognise the value of our community and just how much of an impact we're having. So great to share the story. If you would like to send us your story or talk to us about your experiences, whether you're a member of staff or whether you're one of our service users, then please do get in touch. We'd be delighted to hear from you. Next up, I hope you're all feeling motivated and feeling ready to go and feeling like you're going to be kind of joining us. Sorry, that's about as much exercise I'm probably going to do today. But we have a really inspiring and motivational interview from ARC Fitness. They're a great organisation that focus on recovery through health outcomes and through fitness. We have Gaz, who is addiction recovery coach, talking you through the workout.
Hey all you guys over there, Phoenix Futures, it's Gaz here from ARC Fitness. Guys, we are a non-profit recovery service based in Northern Ireland, and what I learned through my recovery from drug and alcohol addiction was the importance of physical activity and exercise to help establish things like self-confidence and self-worth and self-esteem, and it really stood firm in my recovery. So what I wanted to do was to pull that together. So we offer people a recovery service and we use physical activity as the vehicle to offer that. So I was delighted to be asked to provide you with a short workout video, and guess what? That's exactly what I have done. All I will be asking, guys, is some time to warm your body up for 3 minutes and 7 minutes for a workout. You're giving me 10 minutes of your time, and I guarantee you will feel better at the end of it. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do for me. I need you to get a timer, whether that's your phone or whether that's a clock. Have that ready. What we're going to do is we're going to warm our body up for 3 minutes, guys. We're just going to do that by either jogging on the spot. All I want you to do is to raise your heart rate. We're keeping this nice and simple, okay? After we've gone through that, The workout itself, 7 minutes, 3 exercises, okay? Exercise number 1, we're going to do some push-ups. Exercise number 2, we're going to do some sit-ups. And exercise number 3, we are going to do some air squats. Now, I have attached on the video the movements, how to do them in some of the videos, so you'll know what you need to do. In 7 minutes, I want you to work through as many rounds as possible. 5 press-ups, 10 sit-ups, and 15 air squats. And just keep that going for 7 minutes. Important thing, you record your score, because what I want you to do in 6 weeks' time is to revisit this and try it again. Did you get the same score? Did you do better? Did you do worse? And incorporate physical activity into your recovery. It is so important. So remember, short warm up, get the heart rate up, get breathing, jogging on the spot, no problem, it'll do that. Then for 7 minutes, work through 5 press ups, 10 sit ups, 15 air squats. Put on some fast music, just keep going through it, don't stop until the end, and I guarantee you will feel so much better at the end of it. So keep me posted, let me know, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon. All the best, guys. Okay, now we're going to do some variations on the press up. Okay, David's going to take us through 3 variations. We're going to go through the standard press up, we're going to go through a wide grip press up, and then a narrow grip press up. Then we're going to jump on, we're going to elevate the feet on this step, we're going to do an elevated press up, and then we're also going to show some of the variations, okay? So David, take us through just a normal press up first of all. So our arms are shoulder width distance apart, we're lowering ourselves, our chest to the floor, all the way down and driving straight up. Good, David, okay. Now we're going to do a wide grip, okay? So David, I want you to move the hands out a bit wider. This is going to be a bit more challenging, okay? Literally lower the chest down as well, all the way down and all the way back up again. Try and keep looking straight ahead. Next one we're going to do is a narrow grip. Arms come in nice and narrow, okay? This will work the triceps, okay? So what we're doing is we're dropping down, chest down, and press up again. Good, David, okay? Now, we're going to elevate the feet. Okay, again this will make the press up a bit harder if you have no issues. So with the feet elevated, okay, we're pressing down, we're getting the top of that chest down to the floor again. Down, David, good, lower, and press up. Good, David, okay. If you struggle with any of these movements, if you struggle with the press up, okay, any of these movements, if you drop your knees to the floor, it takes a lot of that pressure off, makes it easier. What I do want you to do is to make sure that the chest is still hitting the floor. That's good, David, down and press up, okay. I don't want the forehead hitting the floor, okay, because then we're not doing a press up call. One more, David, just for camera. Down and press. Beautiful. Okay, guys, we're going to do some sit-ups now, okay. We're going to also add the variation in that as well. So we're going to do sit-ups first, and then we're going to do crunches, okay, as the regression for this. So what I want from this is I want a full range of movement on the sit-up, okay. So Adele's going to show you, I want the hands to touch behind the head and forward, up into that crunch. I want you to tap the ground in front of the feet. That's the full range of motion required for the sit-up. And Adele, all the way up, tap the floor, give us one more full range of motion, all the way back, and all the way up, okay. So, if you struggle with that, guys, if you struggle with the range of motion, or anything like that, okay, we will accept crunches for these. So with the crunches, we're going to have the feet up, knees together, but we're thinking about keeping the head tucked, and we're going to literally crunch and squeeze that stomach, okay. We're going to raise those hands up to your knees, and as long as we're squeezing, and drop. One more down, squeeze, forward, and drop, okay. Okay, so this movement is the air squat. Okay, guys, this is a really basic body weight movement, okay, where we're literally lowering ourselves to the ground and we're standing back up again. So with this, guys, again, as ideal as we're having our feet hip width apart, we're keeping our chest and our head nice and tall, we're sending our bum back, and we're literally lowering into the floor and straight back up again. So Adele's just going to show us this maybe 4 or 5 reps. Okay, you want to keep that back up nice and tall like Adele's doing, okay. You want to send that bum back all the way down the bottom and all the way up. Guys, this is just okay to do the body weight. If you want to make this harder, you can add some weight. So you can add weight to the front, you can front load, you can add a kettlebell or a goblet squat if you have one, you can add a china if there's one around the house. Guys, you can add a barbell to your back if you have that as well, or you can put a rucksack on your back, whatever it takes. If you want to add intensity, you can use those things to do so.
You are watching Recovery TV, brought to you by Phoenix Futures. Please make sure to leave us a like and follow our social media.
Hello, my name's Rowdy Yates. I'm a member of the Phoenix Futures Scottish Board. I'm also on the board of the European Federation of Therapeutic Communities. I've been involved with therapeutic communities for 50 years, firstly as a TC member and then as a volunteer and then a worker. And for the last 20 years I was a researcher at a university researching therapeutic communities. But my real job was always as a musician. So now that I've retired as a researcher, I'm doing a lot more music again. And I think you're going to see some of my stuff in this bit of the program. So I won't say any more about it other than just for two of those songs. There's one song in there called Corrie Lights, which I do solo. And that was written back in 1969, and it's about walking between Brodick on the Isle of Arran and Corrie, also on the Isle of Arran. But for me at that time, I'd just got clean, and it was about me focusing on colours that I saw, sounds that I heard, focusing on anything that I could think about to stop me thinking about heroin at that time. So that's Corrie Lights. And the other song, which you maybe recognise, was written as a therapeutic community anthem, as a kind of house song, and that's called In This House. So I hope you enjoy the music, and good luck with your recovery. Bye.
Rowdy Yates in the Phoenix Futures Chorus.
It's called In This House. And basically the song says, forget all the people who tell you you can't change, that that's how your life is going to be. Get out and do it and change. In this house. We were lost and alone on a dark, winding road. Every moment brought more misery and pain. Every turning we could see brought us back down on our knees. You told us we would always be the same. But in this house we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored. And we have torn everyone who reached out from the heart. We have killed the hopes of family and friends. But our journey through the night brought us back into the light, to a place where we might try to make amends. In this house we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored. And in the to reach the other side, but our hopes were all just empty in your eyes. While the fire was in our blood, you just tried to stem the flood and contain the bitter whirlwind of our lives. In this house we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored. And you say it's for our own good, but we want this understood. We demand the right to live our lives anew. And if you won't support our fight to turn darkness into light, oh, get off the road, the kids are coming through. In this house we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored. In this house
we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored.
in this house we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored. All the no chance kids are coming home restored. Thank you. In this house
we will wrestle with the demons of our past. In this house we will struggle to make changes that will last. In this house the cost is courage at a price we can afford. All the no chance kids are coming home restored.
Thank you so much, Rowdy Yates, and you'll see hopefully more of his music in future broadcasts. We love it, and thank you for sharing. Next up, we have Maddie from Sobriety Films, who has taken part in the Recovery Street Film Festival. Maddie is part of Sobriety Films, which is a not-for-profit collection of filmmakers that talk about their experiences of recovery and share some powerful messages.
Filmmaking means everything to me. It's my job, it's my vocation. I first became interested in film when I was a teenager, and I used to be hypnotized watching the telly, watching films, and watching documentaries and hearing people talk about their lives. So I was very interested in psychology as well. So when I went to uni, I studied film and I did television production as well as journalism. So I think that kind of made me very much interested in documentary style. And it was all about, for me, hearing people talking about stuff that you didn't normally hear, that was really sort of personal and very emotional and emotive. That's exactly what filmmaking is for me. Making a film about recovery was part of my recovery journey. Making Sing with Katie Caboose, it was actually my story that she was telling of severe depression and anxiety and alcohol dependence. So it's very therapeutic and it's a lot of fun, and I think it's just the most wonderful feeling when you see it up there on the big screen. You feel really kind of validated in a way that you wouldn't normally, in society. It helps to destigmatize, and it helps to give people encouragement and hope that recovery can be achieved. So I was doing filmmaking workshops at an NHS drug service with service users making films for the Recovery Street Film Festival. And that was amazing, watching people who were struggling with quite challenging issues of addiction and trying to get well, just completely forgetting about their troubles and just getting really creative, shooting, writing scripts, editing. It's really freeing. I think it's just a really wonderful thing to do if you are in early recovery or not in early recovery. It's very empowering. The first time I went to Recovery Street Film Festival was in September 2017, and I met the guys who ran it, and I saw the films, and I just thought, wow, this is really special. There's some really fantastic films in the Recovery Street Film Festival. If you have a look at them on YouTube, I think you'll be amazed. I think the fact that it gives this kind of forum for people who are in recovery to record their own journey is so powerful. I would definitely enter Recovery Street Film Festival again, if they'll have me. I don't know, maybe they won't. But it's helped me so much. I lost all my confidence about filmmaking, when I was in active alcohol dependence. When that film Sing got into the top 10, it was such a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And it's helped me in the way it's given me confidence and encouragement to set up Sobriety Films UK. And we are a non-profit now, and we make films about recovery from addiction, mental ill health and trauma. I would say to anyone that wants to make a film, don't hesitate. Just pick up your smartphone and always hold it that way, and just get shooting. It's really easy to shoot at home or outside, and your creativity is not based on where you are. It's from what is in your head, and it's about your journey, and it's about recovery.
Thanks for that, Maddie, and please do check out Sobriety Films. They've got an amazing collection of really inspiring videos and clips to support people, and some really good film workshops actually as well. So that's good. Hopefully we can have one on here really soon.
Now let's go to the Phoenix Futures Shipley Park site with Mark and John as they bring us another gardening tutorial as part of our Recovery Through Nature scheme.
Hi guys, welcome to a wet and rainy day at Shipley Park. As it's raining, we thought we'd show you a little bit of water conservation that we've been doing. Now, just to briefly explain while I'm in the dry, before I go outside and show you exactly what we've done. The idea is to conserve as much water and use rainwater as opposed to tap water, trying to keep costs down a little bit better for the environment. So what we've done is we've built an underground irrigation system you may have seen it on some of our Facebook posts from the past. The irrigation system feeds into two holding tanks, and we can hold and store quite a lot of water in there. Now we're using a polytunnel, so we've only used one half of a little polytunnel at the minute, and the idea is we've put a little drain pipe on it, but with polytunnels you can't get a drain pipe flush like you could a roof because there's no overhang. So what we've done is we've used some excess plastic from some packing, furniture packing, and we've taped it in there and it all works. So what I'm going to do is take you out now and show you exactly what we've done, give you a bit of an idea. And it was all throw off bits of drain pipe. We've bought nothing for this. The only thing we have got is some WOOSH tape to stick it all together. So if you want to come this way, let's have a look. And I'm going to get proper wet out here. John's not, he's got a brolly.
This is where it could all go wrong. So I need to keep the camera dry, Mark.
Ah, yeah, of course. Right, so basically what we've done here is we've put right across here a little bit of drain pipe we had lying around. We've propped it up on some little old scraps of wood, and we've taped with some proper tape the plastic to the polytunnel itself, as you can probably see as John gets a bit of a close-up. And then that feeds into the drain pipe, which then feeds down and drops into the start of our underground tunnel. I don't know if you can see this, like a little pipe that goes underground. That feeds into that, and then it follows all the way under the ground here. I've took off an inspection cap, which is just a rock, so you can see where it all joins, because we have another point over here that's going to be used on the bigger polytunnel. So we're going to actually put some more in. We're just getting some scrap drain pipe to do this. So that runs, the pipe runs under here, burrows underneath the stonework, and eventually comes out into this, which we lovingly call the bobsleigh. Now this will hold a lot of water, and you can probably just see here that the water is just trickling out. Now if we had all the polytunnels covered with a drain pipe and plastic, this would probably be pouring out like a tap at the moment. Now we do have an overflow, and this is filling up. The overflow's here, and that feeds down. I'll just move out the way slightly. That feeds down to a tank down the bottom. Now of course when that fills up, that's as far as we can go. We've got no other tanks at the moment. Anyway guys, think about water conservation and ways that you could save it. If it's a case of putting a water butt under your greenhouse, or getting a special adaptation to your drain pipes to collect into a barrel, do so, because it's going to save water from the tap, and it's going to be using more natural water, which is even, rainwater is even good for ponds. So it's great stuff. Anyway, thanks for visiting us again at Shipley Park. Everyone stay safe, hope to see you soon.
Brilliant stuff as always, guys, thank you. Now, here's No Place Productions, a grassroots, not-for-profit theatre company, to tell us about their exciting new workshops and how you can get involved.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe. I'm one of the team members of No Place Productions, and I'm here today to tell you about our upcoming lockdown project called Someday Soon. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with No Place Productions, we're a touring theatre company. We produce live drama performances and workshops in community settings and in prisons and rehab facilities all over the UK. And our new project, Someday Soon, is going to be launching in the first week of July. And it's going to be a series of workshops. Now these workshops, they're going to be broadcast online to the wider community, but they're also going to be going out through the UK prison radio service as well. So that's going to be all through the UK. And these workshops are going to have a load of different creative exercises to help stimulate ideas for new stories and characters and dialogue. And we want your input into this. We want your creative contribution to our process. So once we've got all these ideas together, we are going to curate them. We're going to take little bits of each one and we're going to use them to produce an original radio soap drama. Now this is going to be broadcast through the summer, through social media, and also through the UK Prison Radio Service as well. And absolutely anyone can take part. All you need is something to write with, a pen and a bit of paper is absolutely fine. This is a new way of working for us, so it's going to be an interesting learning curve for us, finding and trying new ideas to come up with new work, but also we're really excited about seeing what other people's inputs can have on our creative process as well. We'd also like to thank Arts Council England for helping fund us through the COVID Emergency Response Fund. We think this project's going to be a really exciting way to help try and bring people together again after the difficult period of separation we've had recently. So, if you are interested in contribution, if you do want to get involved, look out in July on our social media. So you can find us on Instagram at No Place Productions, on Twitter at No Place Pro, and also our website is noplaceproductions.co.uk. Also look out for the hashtag MPP someday soon. So we really look forward to seeing what you can contribute to it. Until then, thank you very, very much and take care.
And that's it for this week's broadcast of Recovery TV, brought to you by Phoenix Futures. Thanks for tuning in as always. We hope you've enjoyed today's collection of videos from across our community. And a special shout out to everyone involved that has helped in submitting content. From here on out we will be returning to our usual bi-weekly broadcast of Recovery TV. However, due to scheduling issues, there will be a slight delay on the next broadcast. Still, it will be coming to Phoenix Futures Facebook and YouTube at the end of the month, so we'll see you then.